Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle, and it's the first time recording the mock draft, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm just gonna start it off. Alright, so number one pick in the draft, I have the Houston Texans selecting Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback out of Louisville. Teddy Bridgewater, in my opinion, is the most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft. He has the best arm, he's the best pocket passer, and he is the best quarterback in this draft. Houston Texans need a quarterback. They need a playmaker at the quarterback position to help this offense conform around them. Jadeveon Clowney is not my favorite pick at this point. They have J.J. Watt. He's a great pass rusher. They only need one right now. Number two, I have the St. Louis Rams. I have them trading out of this pick, but I still end up having them get I'm going to keep them here for now because it's a mock draft. I'm not getting trades, but in my opinion, they will trade this pick most likely with Cleveland, but they will select Jake Matthews, offensive tackle, Texas A&M. First, he's the consensual number 2 pick as of right now, and it makes a lot of sense. Injury to Jake Long last year, torn ACL. What they should do this year is they're gonna draft Jake Matthews. They're gonna play him on the left. They'll Roger Saffold on the right. Then when Jake Long comes back, they'll play Jake Long on the left. Jake Matthews can also play right, and they'll kick Roger Saffold into guard and have a pretty damn good offensive line in my opinion. Jake Matthews is definitely a great pass blocker and a great run blocker. The reason he played right tackle at Texas A&M last year is because Luke Joeckel is not a very good run blocker. Therefore, Luke Joeckel played the left. Not Ryan Matthews. Jake Matthews played the right. And Jake Matthews, in my opinion, is a better tackle. Before I continue, I just want you to know that this mock draft goes to 54 picks. That's as much as I did for right now. Actually, I did 55, but I don't agree with my 55th pick, so I'm going to go with the 54 right now. Alright, so number 3 pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I said Jaguars. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end, South Carolina. This pains me to say that I'm going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars picking him, because if you know me, I am not on the Jadeveon Clowney bandwagon. I believe he's a 2-down player with a lot of talent that does not use it. He doesn't have the work ethic to be elite NFL pass rusher, but he does have the talent, and he does fit with Gus Bradley, and he is the best pass rusher in this draft, and I believe Jacksonville can get a good quarterback in the second round. Jadeveon Clowney, they need a pass rusher in Jacksonville. Anything will help them. I have Clowney going here at 3. Number 4, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting Johnny Manziel, quarterback out of Texas A&M. I hope this happens. I really do. Johnny Manziel is an exciting player, and in Cleveland, if he went to Cleveland, I'd be incredibly happy. Manziel has a great arm. He's a better pocket passer than advertised. You just see him do these incredible scramble things where he runs around, he goes back and forth, he throws the ball down the field and makes a great pass, and you think, oh, he's not fit for the NFL, but he is. He could play in the pocket if need be, but that elite scrambling ability gives him that top 5 talent, even though he has a great arm. He has a top 5 arm. I think he's better than RG3 coming out of college, in my opinion. I love Manziel. I didn't like Manziel's ability to play under extreme pressure and extreme media. That's why I don't have him going as number 1 to Houston. I have him going 4 to Cleveland. Better fit for him, in my opinion. Alright, number 5, and the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have so many needs at this position that have so many needs in this draft that I can even see them trading out of this position. I don't think they will, but I could see it as a total possibility with the amount of needs they have to accumulate draft picks would be a smarter move here. People could have them if going quarterback. They do need a quarterback a lot, but I don't see them getting one here. I also don't see them going Sammy Watkins. The reason is not because Sammy Watkins has a ton of talent. because not that Sammy Watkins does not have top 5 talent, because he does. It's just that this draft class is so deep, the wide receiver position. I think it'd be a waste of a pick with a team with a ton of needs like the Oakland Raiders to take Sammy Watkins here. With all that being said, I have them taking Anthony Barr, outside linebacker, UCLA. The next best pass rusher in the draft, next to Jadeveon Clowney. I think he can play defensive end in this scheme if need be. He'll play outside linebacker. I'm not 100% sure on the scheme they run. I think they do run a 4-3, so I think he could be a defensive end. They have no pass rush there. Lamar Houston, Lamar Houston is horrible. I don't know who the other guy is, and if I don't know who he is, then he's terrible. This team needs a lot of help on the defensive side and a lot of help on the offensive side. This team is a mess. Anthony Barr is going to come in there and help this team a lot. Moving on. The 6th pick, I have the Atlanta Falcons. They can go offensive line or defensive line, and I'm an offensive line guy, and I think the most talented player at this position, at this point left in the draft, is Greg Robinson, offensive tackle out of Auburn. He's a freak of nature. He is a great run blocker. He is becoming an elite pass blocker. He is huge. He is an athletic big man. He is great. I like him a lot. I would even have him going to St. Louis if at some point, probably with the course of the next mock drafts, I may bump him up to St. Louis. Greg Robinson, one of my favorite players in this draft class. Atlanta needs desperate help at the offensive line position. It's just horrible. I knew that they were not going to have a good season this year based on that offensive line and defensive line. This pick will help them a lot more than it's going to be advertised. This pick is going to be a huge pick if they get Greg Robinson at this point. Best run blocker, 2nd best pass blocker as of now. Greg Robinson, offensive tackle out of Auburn, goes there. Alright, the 7th pick. Buccaneers. I don't see them going tackle. Donald Penn, and I can't remember the name of the right tackle right now, but I know he's 26 years old, and he's got a ton of talent, and I don't think that they're going to waste these 2 men that they have as the offensive tackles right now, and waste a top 10 pick on a position that they don't really need. I don't see them going pass rusher here, because I just don't see an elite top 10 talent right here at this point. But what I do see is an elite wide receiver, and they have Vincent Jackson. They have Tim Wright at the tight end position, who's really good. Mike Glennon, a rookie quarterback last year, coming along. Add Sammy Watkins, and that offense is elite. Why you Sorry, I had a brief interruption there, but anyway, they have Tampa Bay. They have Vincent Jackson. They have Tim Wright. They have a rookie they had last year, and I have a 2nd-year quarterback in Mike Glennon. And they're going to add Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, out of Clemson here, and have an elite offense. Really, listen to this. This is the core of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if this draft pick happens. On offense, Doug Martin, Vincent Jackson, Sammy Watkins, and Mike Glennon. On defense, Levante David, Gerald McCoy, Darrell Revis, Deshaun Goldson, Mark Barron's coming along as a good player. Jonathan Banks is coming along as a good player. This is going to be a good team next year. I thought they were going to be good this year. But Greg Schiano, I hate him. I don't like him. He's not a good coach. He messed up his team. There's a lot of injuries. Circumstances didn't really go well. They couldn't get much done. I have no idea why they cut Josh Freeman. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. A lot of things went wrong in Tampa Bay this year, but next year I think it'll be better for them. This pick is going to help them a lot. Alright, number 8, Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer? Yeah, Mike Zimmer. He's going to take a quarterback here, and that quarterback is Blake Bortles out of UCF, University of Coastal Florida. He is like Ben Roethlisberger, but I think he has a bigger upside than Ben Roethlisberger, in my opinion. I don't think he's as NFL ready as Roethlisberger was coming out of the draft, but I do think he has a higher upside. He is a great pocket presence. He is big. He is a big guy. He's tough. He can scramble around. He can avoid pressure. He needs to become a better passer. He's good. He's a great passer and now, but he needs to become an elite passer. He's not as NFL ready, but a team like Minnesota needs a quarterback that they can develop, and Blake Bortles is that guy. Alright, next pick I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Khalil Mack, outside linebacker, Buffalo. Everyone has him going here. I mean, everybody has him going here. Because it makes sense. He is the perfect linebacker for them right now. He can play the run. He can rush the pass. He's going to be a great complement with Kiko Alonso to make this defense even better. Plain and simple, Khalil Mack is a great fit in Buffalo. If he's still available at this point, I can't see them passing up on him. Alright, next, moving on, we have the number 10 pick. We have the Detroit Lions selecting Darqueze Dennard, cornerback out of Michigan. Best cover corner, best man-to-man corner, maybe the only lockdown corner in this draft. There's a lot of corners, but he is a lockdown defender. They need that. He may not be the most physically talented corner in the draft, but he's the only lockdown corner in this draft class. And Detroit Lions secondary is horrible. They need a cornerback here that can solidify that pass coverage, whatever they want to say it is, because it's nothing right now. And hopefully get Detroit Lions back on track of making a run to the playoffs, because they have a lot of talent on that team, and they're just not performing. Darqueze Dennard is going to help this team not worry so much about the pass defense. Moving on. One of my favorite picks. Tennessee Titans will take Clinton-Dix, free safety out of Alabama. He's the best cover safety that's come out of the draft in a long time. He can cover and he can hit. He is young and he is athletic. This is a guy that I wanted to put at number 2 to the Rams, but I saw a bigger need at tackle, but I could see him going as high as number 2. I can even see him possibly going number 1 to Houston if they need a safety that bad, because they do have a need at safety. Clinton-Dix is that good of a player that I can see him possibly going number 1. I don't think that he's going to go number 1 because franchise quarterback, free safety. I'm taking the franchise quarterback. So he has that kind of talent, and if the Titans manage to get him here, they will have a steal on their hands. And he's going to help this defense a lot. Help this team get younger at the safety position and really be a great defense. The offense is the next project. Defense first, offense second, in my opinion. They get Clinton-Dix here. That'll help out with that defense a lot. Alright. 12th pick. New York Giants. I'm from the New York area, so I see a lot of the New York Giants games because I watch football, even though I'm not a Giants or Jets fan. Carolina Panthers all the way. They are a mess at the front of both the offense and defense. The linebackers on this team, besides John Beeson, former Carolina Panther, are just non-existent. They're just not good. The offensive line is terrible. I think they have to go linebacker because he's the linebacker they'll pick here. C.J. Mosley out of Alabama is more talented than any guard they can pick at this point. So I have them taking C.J. Mosley, the most versatile linebacker in this draft. Can play every single linebacker position. He's a freak of nature. He's great talent. I like him a lot. He's going to be a good fit in New York, and he's going to be a good player for a long time. I think this is a good pick for them at 12. Alright, moving on. 13. Rams. This strain of picks from about 11 to 18, I really, really like. These are some of my players that I really, really like in this draft. Another one of this picks that I would love to see happen is the Rams take Mike Evans, wide receiver, Texas A&M here. He's a big guy, likes of Anquan Bolden or Vincent Jackson. This is a... Just imagine this. Tavon Austin, the speedster, mixed with Mike Evans, the big target. That's going to be a great, great wide receiver core there. And Sam Bradford, I could throw to that wide receiver core, so you better be able to. And if you got that offensive lineman, Jake Matthews there, you better be doing good. Or you're done on this Rams team, in my opinion. I think that he would be done if it wasn't for the contract he has to have, because he was the #1 overall selection before that whole change happened. Because if it wasn't for that contract, they would take Manziel too. But they won't, because they have to keep him there, because it's a waste of money if they don't. So I see them going 13th and thinking Mike Evans, wide receiver, Texas A&M. I think it's going to be a great pick. This is my favorite player in the draft class. The Bears selection at 14. He is my favorite player in this entire draft class, and it is Calvin Pryor, free safety out of Louisville. I love this kid. I really do. He's a great cover guy, and he's a great hitter. He can hit, and he can catch. He's an exciting player. I really like him. I think he's going to help out this Bears defense a lot. I just want to see more of him. I just want to see him go to the NFL. I want to watch more tape on him. That's all I want to do with this guy, is just watch him play, because I really enjoy him. A lot of people don't have him going this high. I thought it was a pretty obvious pick, in my opinion, to go Calvin Pryor here. I could see them also going Timmy Jerrigan, defensive tackle at Florida State. But I see them going Calvin Pryor here because I see that they might see what I see in Calvin Pryor and be like, that guy's an elite talent, and they're not going to pass up on him. Alright, moving on. The 15th pick, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Taylor Lewan, offensive tackle. Making sure I'm getting this right because I always mess it up. Michigan. He's out of Michigan. The Steelers have been just hit and miss. Every offensive lineman they've taken. They need an offensive line so bad, it pains me to watch this team play. They have so much talent on the offensive side, but they can't get anything done because their offensive line is horrible. They had a lot of injuries last year. They seem to have a lot of injuries every year at the offensive line position. I think Taylor Lewan, a guy who's done it before, a guy who will continue to do it, he quietly did not give up a sack this year at Michigan. He is a great player. Michigan's offense did not do that great this year, but Taylor Lewan was not the problem at all. Taylor Lewan is a great pass blocker. He's a great blocker in general. He's very versatile. He's very athletic. I like him. He's sneaky athletic. And I think he could be really good asset to that Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. And I think, most importantly at this point, he is a safe pick. I think he will be as close to a safe pick as you possibly can get. Not going to give you anything crazy, like, he doesn't have any crazy physical abilities. He is very versatile and he is athletic, but he's not like a Ziggy Ansah defensive end. He's not like that kind of guy. He's an offensive tackle, not like Teron Armstead, but he is going to give you what you need in Pittsburgh, and that's what they need, is an offensive tackle pass block. Taylor Lewan does that for them. Moving on, 16th, Baltimore Ravens select Kelvin Benjamin out of Florida State University, my favorite team. Florida State has Jameis Winston, and then they threw in Kelvin Benjamin, and I just loved it. It was just great. Anyway, Kelvin Benjamin reminds me a lot of Anquan Boldin, but he possibly just seems bigger. I don't know if he is. I don't know the exact height, whatever. I don't know that exactly. I just know he's huge, and he's a great catcher. Some games he doesn't perform because they put a lot of coverage on him. They cover him very well. They try to cover him very well, at least. He's always double teamed. He's a big guy. I could see them putting him there rather than Marquise Lee, because they have Torrey Smith is a speedster, and then they have Jacoby Jones, slot guy probably, speedster. Kelvin Benjamin's that big guy that he had in Anquan Boldin when they won the Super Bowl. Bring back Benjamin. This is going to be a pretty good offense here. Joe Flacco will have someone to throw to. Who, on a separate note, I don't think he should have gotten that contract at all. He's not that good of a quarterback. He's good, but he's not that kind of good. Anyway, moving on now. Dallas Cowboys 17. This was a pick for me that I was kind of debating on what I was going to have them here. I was debating on defensive tackle or defensive end, and I just saw them having more depth at defensive tackle than defensive end, so I have them going Coney Ely, defensive end out of Missouri. Again, a great pass rusher. People question if he can fit in the 4-3. I think any outside linebacker who's a pass rusher can just put their hand in the dirt and do it. It's not that big of a difference. Except the exception if you don't have to play coverages. I think that'll benefit him not having to worry about coverages, and just gonna stay in that defensive end position. Coney Ely, defensive end at Missouri, will help out his defense opposite DeMarcus Ware. I think it'd be a pretty good pick for them at 17. Moving on now. I have the Jets taking the next tight end in saga that follows Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham, earlier than that, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, and newer Jordan Cameron and Julius Thomas. This is the next one in a line of great tight ends in the NFL. Great pass-catching tight ends. Eric Ebron, tight end, UNC. I said it all right there. He's a great pass catcher. He needs to work on his blocking, but he's a receiver in a tight end's body. It's going to help out Geno Smith a lot. I think, on a separate note, I just need to talk about this for a minute. This is a message to every single GM that isn't watching this, but should be. If you're going to take a quarterback, make sure in the first or second round, make sure he is the guy that you want for your franchise. Because if you waste a first or second round pick on a quarterback, you have to stick with him unless he's absolutely horrendous. And Geno Smith was not great, but he wasn't good. He was just average. He wasn't. So you can't get rid of him because he hasn't been horrible. He hasn't been a complete bust, but he's not elite at all. I think it was a huge mistake in them picking him at that spot. I think they should have just went Tebow time and said screw it, and then waited for this draft class to pick their quarterback, which would have been actually the smarter move. Because of the injury to Mark Sanchez, then he would have gone Tebow. So that, yeah, I can wish. Anyway, so Eric Ebron's gonna help out that horrible pass offense. It's just horrendous. There's just, who do you throw the ball to? Stephen Hill just made out of glass. Jeremy Curley, it's okay. Jeff Cumberland's not bad. I don't know who else is on that team. Clyde Gates, injured? I have no idea. Anyway. Oh, Santonio Holmes. He does nothing. Ever. Always injured. Just checking the thing over here. 19th pick, I have the Miami Dolphins taking any offensive lineman, but I have them specifically going Zach Martin, offensive tackle, out of Notre Dame. He fits that need, actually. He can play every position on the offensive line if need be. I think he's going to best fit a tackle because he's got that kind of ability to block and move and beat a tackle in the NFL. Hopefully he doesn't get bullied by Richie Incognito or something like that, or maybe Ryan Tannehill steps on his foot and he cries about it. But no, Zach Martin's a really special player. He can play every position on offensive line. I think they might play him at every position on offensive line, to be honest with you. I think Jonathan Martin needs to grow up, take some criticism, take some bullying or whatever you want to call it, and play football. If you're not going to be able to take Richie Incognito talking about your mom, then you just get out of the NFL because you don't deserve to be here. If you can't take a little bit of punishment by words, you can't take any physical punishment. So I think that was a bust there. Jonathan Martin needs to grow up, play the game, help this team. Zach Martin will also help this team. But those two would be pretty good together if Jonathan Martin could grow up. But I have them going Zach Martin, offensive tackle, Notre Dame here. Alright. 20th pick. I have the Cardinals taking Cyrus Kouandjio, offensive tackle, Alabama. The Cardinals have two needs. They have a need for a tackle, and they have a need for, well, they have three needs. tackle, quarterback, outside linebacker. So I have them going tackle here, mainly because, and that's strong safety. Yeah, strong safety. Cyrus Kouandjio has the best upside in this draft class, with the exception of Zach. I'm sorry, I almost said Zach. With the exception of Greg Robinson, I think Cyrus Kouandjio is the biggest upside. I think Bruce Arians is the type of coach that is a very special coach, and you think he can light a fire under Cyrus Kouandjio's ass and get this moving and get him actually doing something. Because when he tries, he's a great pass blocker. When he doesn't try, he's horrendous. But other times, he's great. So I think that they'll take the risk on him here at 20, meaning because this 20th pick overall, you have a potential, if this guy plays his potential, to have a top 5 pick on your hands, and you're very scarce in needs. You don't really need that many players. You could sign some free agents and whatnot, fill those needs, but yeah, I see them going Cyrus Kouandjio here without a doubt. Moving on. Green Bay Packers 21. They can go in a number of different directions here. They can go defensive front. They can go linebacker. They can go safety. I don't really see them going safety here. Corner. I think they go cornerback / safety with LaMarcus Joyner out of Florida State. He is underrated in this draft class. I've realized he's actually underrated. I thought that people were going to think LaMarcus Joyner is the best corner, and everyone was going to overrate him. Well, not overrate him. Everyone was going to just see his talent because he was on the national champions. But I watched the Florida State defense. I'm a Florida State fan. I watched this team play. I watched LaMarcus Joyner do some incredible things at the cornerback position, or at the defensive back position, because he plays wherever the hell he wants to. He is the kind of guy that could change the defense of the Green Bay Packers. He can really play anywhere that they want him to play, and he's a really good cover guy. He can hit. He's big. I think he makes the most sense here. He makes the most sense at 21 for Green Bay. Not Justin Gilbert, not Bradley Roby, not Jason Verrett. LaMarcus Joyner at this pick. Moving on to the 22nd pick, I have the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Justin Gilbert, or Gilbreth, I don't remember his name, cornerback out of Oklahoma. Explosive. That's the first word that comes to my mind when I think of Justin Gilbreth. He's explosive. He can play kick return and punt return, and even though they have Deshaun Jackson back there, I think he'd help out a lot in that situation. He's going to fit Chip Kelly's scheme of young, athletic, fast guys. He's not an offensive player, he's a defensive player, obviously, but they need help at the cornerback position bad. This year was just made up of a bunch of nobodies that just came out of nowhere, and they managed to actually make the playoffs with them. I think he's going to help out a lot. He's going to be a really good player there. He could probably play nickel corner if they teach him right. But I like Gilbert here at 22 to the Eagles. Alright, gotta speed this up a little bit, but I'm not really going to speed it up. 23, I have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Marquise Lee, wide receiver out of USC. The Chiefs have one need, and that's wide receiver. And possibly tight end. No, wide receiver. Kansas City Chiefs are one of the most complete teams in the league. Even last year, they just didn't have a quarterback. The teams have very few needs, but Marquise Lee is one of the most talented players in this draft. He's battled injuries this whole season, but before the season started, if you remember, before the college football season started, Marquise Lee was talked about as a top 5 pick, and to get him at 23, I think that'd be pretty good for Kansas City, considering the fact they need another wide receiver opposite Dwayne Bowe. Alright, 24, I have the Cincinnati Bengals taking Timmy Jerrigan, defensive tackle, Florida State, another Florida State another Florida State defender being taken here. He is the most talented player left in this draft. He's one of the most talented players in this draft. Great run stopper and great pass rusher. I like him a lot. I really do. I know Timmy Jerrigan's can sometimes tire out a little bit, but he needs to be in that Bengals defense. It'll help that defense a lot. Even though, and hear me out now, Andy Dalton will not last more than the last contract. Once his contract's up, it's done. Not a fan of Andy Dalton at all. I think he's holding that team back. I think the team has a lot of talent. Andy Dalton's the reason why that team is not a Super Bowl contending team. That being said, I still see them going Timmy Jerrigan here, out of Florida State. Gonna help out the defensive front a lot. It was a good pick. Alright. Where am I going here? Sorry, I lost my place. 25, I have the San Diego Chargers selecting Jason Verrett, cornerback, out of TCU, Texas Christian University. Another great cover guy. Another guy who plays fast. He's small. He's 5'10", but he's a really nasty player. I like him. The San Diego Chargers had a really good year this season. Slightly unexpected. Phillip Rivers made that offense, surprisingly. Ryan Matthews stayed healthy for the majority of the season. The offensive line was still not good, but it was greatly improved with DJ Fluker and Nick Hardwick in the middle. DJ Fluker obviously on the right. I could see them taking a guard, just not yet, because I don't see a guard better than a guard with more talent as a guard than Jason Verrett has more talent as a corner. They need help in that secondary. I think the offense was just fine last year. They could add more weapons. They could add a better offensive line, but I think cornerback is a bigger need for the San Diego Chargers, and Jason Verrett fills that need for them. Okay. Next, the Cleveland Browns, who you will see by the end of this draft. I think if they draft the way I project them drafting, I think they could be a playoff team next year. That's how good of a draft class this is for the Cleveland Browns. Alright, and its second part of it starts with now needing an elite running back. 26th pick, I have them going Trey Mason, running back out of Auburn. Watching the national championship game, it pained me to see Trey Mason just run all over Florida State. It was just like, I'm like, this guy is just cheating. He's just cheating. He's very good. I think he's Carlos Hyde, Trey Mason. I don't think is a lose in either of those two, but I like Trey Mason a little better. He's faster. He's more. Compliment him. I mean, he's fast. I don't know if he's faster, but compliment him with Johnny Manziel, Josh. Think of this: Josh Gordon, Johnny Manziel, Jordan Cameron, Trey Mason. That's really good. That's a really good offense. That's pretty elite. And their offensive line is one of the best in the league. I have to say, their offensive line is really, really good. They have Reed Fraggle as a backup left tackle to Joe Thomas. He's huge. I think they put him on a right tackle, and he just team this guy. Upsides, I'm telling you, they good. None of you are like, who the hell is Reed Fraggle? Trust me, I played him in Madden all the time. He's a beast. He is huge. He's the backup left tackle for Joe Thomas. You can see him emerge a lot this year. I think he'll be a bigger part of this team. But Trey Mason is going to help out that they don't have a running back at all, do they? No, their running backs are horrible. They traded Trent Richardson, which everyone's like, what the hell did they trade Trent Richardson for? That turned out to be a pretty good trade. It turned out for them, they're going to trade Trent Richardson for Trey Mason. So, and I don't think they would have done, I think they would have done better this season if they had Trent Richardson. So they possibly could have got Manziel for that trade because of how bad their team did after that. And Brian Hoyer almost was like, I'm a franchise quarterback, and then he got injured. But he was actually really good. He was a lone bright spot in the Cleveland Browns offense this season. Oh, I'm sorry. The lone bright spot in the Cleveland Browns quarterback this season. Josh Gordon was amazing. Jordan Cameron was amazing in that stretch. One thing needs to be said right here. I think the general manager who picked Brandon Weeden in the first round needs to be fired and never see the NFL again. Why take a 28-year-old quarterback in the first round and then just, I don't even know, and then just bench him? That was a waste of a draft pick. That was horrible. I don't know what the hell possessed you to do that. Anyway, we're at 27. Hold on. Alright, 27, I have the New Orleans Saints taking Stephon Tuitt, defensive end out of Notre Dame. I knew that. Very versatile pass rusher, run blocker. He's freakishly athletic. He's big. I think he's going to fit this scheme perfectly. I just think Rob better be Rob Ryan or I'm wrong. Rob Ryan can do a lot with this guy. It's going to fit in this offense. Defense. Well, I think I like him at this pick. He could be really, really good for this team in the long run. So, okay. 31. 30. Why did I skip like 7 picks? 28. My Carolina Panthers. They're gonna select Jarvis Landry, wide receiver out of LSU. I was debating whether Jarvis Landry or Brandon Cooks. I couldn't decide, honestly. Brandon Cooks, faster. He's got more production. He's a great pass catcher. They got him comparisons to Steve Smith. I didn't know. And then Jarvis Landry is the best pass catcher in college football. I had no idea. I'm picking Jarvis Landry because he's a better pass catcher. But Brandon Cooks or Jarvis Landry goes here. I have no idea who. I'm going Jarvis Landry as of now, but I'm happy with both of them. Well, I'll happy with both of them. Yes, I would love both of them, but happy with either one of them. All right, Patriots 29. Lewis. What the hell is that? Lewis Nix, the third defensive tackle out of Notre Dame. Yes. Another one of these elite kind of freakishly athletic defensive tackles. This defensive tackle class is nowhere near as good as it was last year, but it is still good. And I think Lewis Nix helps this defense out a lot. They just need to get more depth, and they just need to get younger in the defensive line. Lewis Nix will help out a lot. I'm trying to speed up a little bit. 49ers select Dominic Easley, defensive tackle out of Florida. He was injured, I think, all of this season, but before this season, he was advertised as a top 5 talent. And one of these guys who's got a lot of talent. He is going to probably be defensive end and take over that why did my computer just do that? I'm sorry. Take over where Justin Smith was once Justin Smith stops playing. I don't know when that'll ever happen, if it does. But yeah, he can fill that role. I also could see them going linebacker here, and Ryan Shazier would be that linebacker if I had him going linebacker here. And the reason I would have him going linebacker, possibly, is because Navarro Bowman tore his ACL. Last game that they played against Seattle, Navarro Bowman tore his ACL. It looked pretty bad. So, he could miss the entire season. He might miss the entire season. If you miss Navarro Bowman the entire season, that could be a big need here. And also defensive end, Tank Carradine. They still have Tank Carradine. He didn't play at all this season because of his injuries, but at Florida State, he's a talented player, and he can still make a name for himself in the NFL once he gets healthy. Tank Carradine is still on that team, so I don't know where they're going here. I actually think, in my opinion, they will trade this pick with Jacksonville to move into the second round, and Jacksonville will move up into the first round and select the same guy that I'm not telling you yet, to select the same guy they're going to take in the second round, but they just want that extra year of the contract. So I see this being a trade position. I see them trading down because a first round pick for a guy who's going to play for one season, Ryan Shazier, I guess maybe I think Ryan Shazier is a better pick here. I think I'm changing my mind as I speak. I think Ryan Shazier, outside linebacker. No, I'm gonna have to stay with my picks because it'll mess up everything. But Ryan Shazier or Dominic Easley will go here. 31. Denver Broncos. Aaron Donald, defensive tackle out of Pitt. He's not gonna be a defensive tackle in the NFL. He's in this scheme. I'm sorry. He's gonna be a defensive end. He's similar to guys. Let me think for a second here. He's similar to big guys in the inside. Not as elite of a pass rusher as J.J. Watt, but certainly the similar body type kind of player. He's gonna be that good. I'm sorry, he's not that good, but he could be that good. He's gonna help his team out. I think Derek Wolfe is bad, not bad, but like not good at all. Sean Phillips is kind of an outside linebacker, so I think this will just help out that defense a little bit. I can also see them going corner and Bradley Roby here, but I think they'll go Aaron Donald, because I think the free agent market for corners this year is pretty good. So I think Aaron Donald goes here. Moving on, the end of the first round, the last pick of the first round, finally. I have Jason Morrow, tight end out of Texas Tech, going to Seattle Seahawks. If this kid can learn how to calm himself and be a mature adult, then he could be a great player in the NFL. He's got a lot of talent at pass catching. He's work on his blocking, of course, but he's another one of these guys that's an elite pass catching tight end that'll fit very well in the Seattle offense that is not that good at the moment. Seattle is great, but their offense is the weakness here. They don't have enough weapons for Russell Wilson, which is just proving the points of why Russell Wilson is as good as a quarterback as he is, because he's proving that with not this many weapons, he's still producing in great numbers. So I think Jason Morrow is going to help him out a lot here. It's a good tight end. That's the end of the first round. I'm going to continue with the second round in a moment. Okay, start the second round. I'm not finishing the second round. I'm going up until the Eagles pick. I could say what I put down as the Chiefs pick, but I don't think it's going to end. Alright, so, where am I? I'm sorry. Houston Texans. I have them going Morgan Moses, offensive tackle, Virginia. He's a very good offensive tackle. One more offensive tackle would help this team out a lot, just making sure that Teddy Bridgewater, your #1 overall pick, is okay there. Morgan Moses is a very talented guy out of Virginia. Maybe not the biggest name, but he is I like him a lot. I think he could be a great tackle in the NFL. And I think a second round pick for Morgan Moses will be pretty good. I think he's gonna move up in the draft. Just everybody needs tackles. This is a very good tackle draft. So I think he's gonna help that Houston Texans offense out a lot. Morgan Moses, offensive tackle out of Virginia. All right. 34, the Washington Redskins. I have them going Taquan Jones, defensive tackle out of Penn State. Any defender would be good here. I think interior defensive line is a little bit of an Eberry Cofield's good, but I mean, I'm seeing him more as a defensive end kind of guy rather than a defensive tackle, like a nose tackle. I think he's more of a defensive end pass rusher from the middle. But let's see him going secondary here. I gotta look more into this pick. I gotta think more about this pick. But for now, I have Taquan Jones out of Penn going here. I keep losing my spot. Alright, here's where I told you Jacksonville's gonna get their quarterback. 35th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. Derek Carr, quarterback, Fresno State. I believe they will trade into the first round and get the same guy, just to get that extra year in a contract. Derek Carr, very talented quarterback. Definitely if someone falls in love with him, i.e. Oakland Raiders, he could be a first round pick if someone falls in love with him. But I think it's better fit for. Think of this. This Jacksonville team may actually have a chance next year. Jadeveon Clowney, Derek Carr, CeCe Shorts, Justin Blackman, Marcedes Lewis, Paul Posluszny, Jonathan Cyprien. Not a bad team. Maurice Jones-Drew. I think he's gonna be gone. I don't think he'll be there. But yeah, not bad. Derek Carr got a great arm. He's a cannon for an arm. Just to hold that talent more, work on his accuracy a little bit, perform better, big games, and just, you know, the level of competition he faced at Fresno State is not up to par with the level of competition i.e. Johnny Manziel would have faced. So I don't see him going as high because the competition he faced isn't as good, but I still think of him as a great quarterback. He's definitely going to start for them if they draft him. He has Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne. What the hell is that? What is that? That's just horrible. Alright. Anything too better than that. Just TiVo. Just Tebow. Praise Tebow. Alright, next pick. Cleveland Browns. See, I think this Browns, they're just going to get loaded at the offensive side of the game in this draft. I see them going like free agent, getting like Alteron Verner or something like that. Let's just make this draft class even better. Just make this offense even better for Cleveland. But Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, Oregon State, goes here. Think of this now. Just take a look at what I've given this team. Johnny Manziel, Trey Mason, Brandon Cooks. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me just tell you the whole thing. Quarterback Johnny Manziel, running back Trey Mason, wide receiver Josh Gordon, other wide receiver Brandon Cooks, tight end Jordan Cameron, defense Paul Kruger, Kiki Mingo, Dakota Jackson's not relevant, Joe Hayden, TJ Ward, just playoffs. Cleveland Browns, if they go this way that I have them drafting, that offense will be good. Greg Little should never have gotten in the NFL. He's just fast. He can't catch for the life of him. I can catch better than Greg Little. Give up on Greg Little. Take Brandon Cooks here. Your team will be a lot more happy and a lot better. I keep losing my place. Oakland Raiders now, they get their quarterback. And I think this is going to be a steal. I really do. 37, I think the Oakland Raiders will take Zach Mettenberger, quarterback LSU. I know he's hurt his ACL, but he's a quarterback. Arm. That's the main part of being a quarterback, is, throwing the ball. He can move. I don't know how well he's going to move, but he's young. He's young. It's not like he's Peyton Manning tearing his ACL. Well, Peyton Manning actually hurt his neck thing, and he came back fine. But let's say a Ben Roethlisberger, that's a big guy with a older guy. Like, the older guys are the guys that we have problems. Guys in their prime sometimes recover well, but guys past their prime are the guys we worry about with injuries. If he's Zach Mettenberger, rookie coming off ACL, it's not going to be that big of a deal. It's a safer pick than RG3 was, because RG3 was a top 2 pick, number 2 overall. This is a second round pick. If you missed on a second rounder and a quarterback, oh well, you tried. So I'm saying they need to try Zach Mettenberger here. I think Falcons get lucky here at 38. I think they'll take D4, defensive end outside linebacker. Will play outside linebacker in their scheme, out of Auburn. Explosive pass rusher. He's a fast pass rusher. I mean, he's got the kind of talent to play that defensive end outside linebacker position. Falcons are gonna get exactly what they need in this draft class, and it will help this team a lot. Help that defense. Now they help their offense with Greg Robinson. Now they're gonna help their defense. They're taking teammates. D Ford, Greg Robinson, both out of Auburn, both explosive, both talented, both special, both really athletic. I like both of these guys, and I see D Ford going here at 38, because if they don't take him here, he's gonna be gone. All right, then I got 39. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking Trent Murphy. He's gonna be a defensive end out of Stanford. He's an outside linebacker at Stanford. He can't play coverage, therefore I don't know why he's even playing outside linebacker. I think it's just a scheme. He's a pass rusher. They need a pass rusher. He can play the run pretty well. Everybody in Tampa Bay needs to know how to play the run, because it's just how they are. They're a good run team. They're good offensive run blockers. They're good defensive run blockers. And I think Trent Murphy's going to help them rush the quarterback and actually get some talent on the defensive side, pass rush. Gerald McCoy, Adrian Claiborne, and then Trent Murphy. I think it's a pretty good line there. And then Keaton Spence, also in the defensive tackle position. I think it's a pretty decent defensive line. I like that defense there in Tampa Bay. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking Paul Richardson, wide receiver out of Colorado. They need another wide receiver. Craig Jennings is getting old. Plus, he wasn't that productive last year. Cordero Patterson is still developing, even though he's explosive. He's really good. He made the Pro Bowl as a kick returner. But he's still developing as a pass catcher, route runner. I think a guy like Paul Richardson comes in there and helps out Zach Mettenberger. And I'm sorry, not Zach Mettenberger. I had him in my first draft. That's why I said that. Helps out Blake Bortles, have a nice little target there, and of course you got Adrian Peterson. So you got that. So I think that offense will be greatly improved with the addition of Paul Richardson and Blake Bortles in this draft class. I like the way these top teams are gonna. These like top draft picks are gonna help out these teams. I like the way that this draft works out, where there's a lot of talent at different positions. It's a very good draft class, and I think it's gonna help out a lot of teams. Next, I had the Buffalo Bills selecting Davante Adams, wide receiver out of Fresno State, David Carr's teammate. They need another wide receiver. I think Robert Woods, Stevie Johnson, Marquise Goodwin. That's not bad. It's not bad. But I think Stevie Johnson is not reliable anymore. I think Marquise Goodwin's better off as a kick returner. I would just take Davante Adams here, and just grow with Robert Woods and EJ Manuel and have a core there. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the details of Stevie Johnson's contract situation, but I said trade him. Trade him to a team like Minnesota, or trade him to a team like anybody will take him. Carolina even. I don't really want him, but trade him. Trade Stevie Johnson, draft Davante Adams. That's my opinion. That's what they should do. I don't think it'd be a terrible thing if they kept Stevie Johnson, but I just don't think he's been as reliable as they need him to be. I don't like Buffalo. The talent they got's good, but I don't like what they're doing there. It's not working for me. But next we have the Detroit Lions taking Odell Beckham Jr., wide receiver LSU. On the top, another great wide receiver talent. This I told you, draft class is full of wide receivers. Opposite Calvin Johnson, you need a guy opposite Calvin Johnson. Odell Beckham can do that for you. Be opposite Calvin Johnson. Have someone else Matthew Stafford can throw the ball to. Because the game of football does not consist of you dropping back and throwing a pass to Calvin Johnson the whole game. Just doesn't work as well anymore. As you saw, Reggie Bush helped a lot in that offense. George Bell also helped a lot. But they need another wide receiver. And Odell Beckham Jr. obviously is good there. At 43, I have the Tennessee Titans taking a possible franchise quarterback for their new coach in A.J. McCarron out of Alabama. Doesn't have the elite arm talent. Reminds me a lot of Sam Bradford. He got good accuracy. He doesn't have a huge arm, but I think he fit nicely. I think he'd be pretty good. I still like Jake Locker, but I think he's just been inconsistent. He's just been hurt. He hasn't been able to show himself. But I don't think he's gonna get the chance. I think Adrian McCarron's gonna come in here and beat him out. And I think it's worth the risk of 43 for the Titans. I think it's worth the risk. You possibly get a franchise quarterback in Adrian McCarron. I think it'd be worth it. He's won. He was a winner. And you've seen like the likes of Alex Smith. You don't need to have a cannon or an arm to play NFL quarterback. It helps. Arm strength is definitely important, but it's not a necessity in this day and age. I think that this could help out a lot. I think Adrian McCarron's going to do a pretty good job at Tennessee. Alright, next I have the first guard off the board. Me, an offensive line guy, I usually line up the whole draft, and it's like mostly offensive linemen, offensive tackle, and I'm like, who the hell are these people? Why are they getting drafted so high? I don't know who the hell these people are. Stop putting them there. So my first guard off the board is... I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Let me edit something. Well, you know what? Never mind. Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a minute here. I messed something up. It is Cyril Richardson. I even put the guard where he's playing. I put left guard out of Baylor. He's an excellent pass blocker. The best guard in the draft. He's an underrated run blocker, but he's an excellent pass blocker. And they need help. They need oh my god, they need so much help on that offensive line. It's atrocious. It's terrible. It's painful to watch. It's so bad. I still think Justin Pugh's got to get to that. Justin Pugh, he was a good pick last year. He's a good player. He played well for them, but I think he's better off as a guard. I still think he's a better guard. But anyway, now they're getting younger if they take this pick here. They take Cyril Richardson. They got Justin Pugh. You're progressing to become a good offensive line. I like it. Next, I have the most intriguing guard prospect that I have ever seen. Well, not ever seen, but a very intriguing guard prospect. Xavier Su'a-Filo, guard out of UCLA. Very athletic, very talented, very unknown. He is one of those guys that's hit or miss. He can be great or he can be bad, but he's definitely a good run blocker. He's definitely a good pass blocker, but he's got so much athletic ability. He's got the ability to get to second level, block guys, open up running lanes. That I think the Rams take him here. I can also see the Rams taking I'm sorry, the name's Carlos Hyde, running back out of Ohio State here, because they don't have a running back at all. And I see them taking Carlos Hyde with whatever they're going to trade down. I'm almost positive they're going to trade down, and whatever pick they get for that trade down is what they're going to take Carlos Hyde with. Xavier Su'a-Filo, and then this offensive line is good. Look, now the offensive line's good. They fixed the whole offensive line with that pick there. Alright. 46, I have the Bears taking Rashid Hageman, defensive tackle out of Minnesota. A lot of guys like him. I like him too. I think I just messed up. I think I just overlooked him. When I was going through my list and whatnot, I think I just overlooked him. And then my next mock draft will probably see Hageman way up there, a lot higher. Because Hageman's going to help out that middle. Calvin Pryor, Hageman, he's good. He's a good run blocker. I keep saying blocker. I like tackles and offensive lineman. I keep saying blocker. Run stopper up the middle. They were just horrible last year. The Bears' defense was horrible last year. When's the last time you heard that? Okay, I did not pass out. I just looked down. 47, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Ryan Shazier, inside linebacker, Ohio State. They need an inside linebacker. They're old. The defense is old. They need help. They need to... Oh, yeah, I had a safety on here. Oh, alright. I was like, what the hell? I had a guy... I didn't know where I put him, but now I do. Anyway, Ryan Shazier, inside linebacker, Ohio State. He's definitely good enough to be a first-round draft pick. He's an excellent pass rusher for an inside linebacker, and he's definitely got that ability to play in Pittsburgh. Definitely one of my favorite guys that I couldn't put in the first round because there's just no needs for him in the first round. So I have him going here with a huge steal to Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh actually gets a good draft class this year, and Ryan Shazier of Ohio State's gonna be a good pick for them right here. Alright, next I had the Baltimore Ravens taking Aaron Colvin, cornerback out of Oklahoma, opposite Justin Gilbert. They need another corner. Darius Webb is there, and then Darius Webb. I don't know. They have Darius Webb, and then Smith. I don't know. Jimmy Smith. I think they can do it another corner here at Aaron Colvin at 48. I think that's pretty good. I would like that pick. Also, tackle James Hurst could possibly be a pick here. Because their offensive line wasn't that good. I think I actually might change that right now. I don't have him in this draft, so I think maybe James Hurst right here is a possibility. It's either going to be Colvin or James Hurst. Alright, 49. I have Dallas Cowboys selecting Dion Bailey, safety out of USC. He's a big hitter. I think he's a strong safety. And I think they need a guy like this. I don't think they necessarily need the cover safety that is Calvin Pryor or Clinton Dix. I think they need the run-stopping safety that is Dion Bailey out of USC. They were just horrible at stopping anything. Oh my god, the Dallas Cowboys defense is horrible, and so was the Cleveland Browns. So was the Chicago Bears. And you can see one glaring need on both these positions, safety. They both need safeties, and they're both a horrible defense because they need safeties. Dion Bailey's going to help out this team a lot, run blocking, whatever he does. There you go. Moving on, Jets, 50. Jordan Matthews, wide receiver, Vanderbilt. I think the Jets they could possibly take 3 wide receivers in like this draft. Like Jordan Matthews, wide receiver, Vanderbilt is such a deep class that I could have them going wide receiver first round, Marquise Lee, but I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll take Jordan Matthews in the second round. That's smart. John Insick, that'd be a great idea. Do that. Now you got a tight end. Now you got a wide receiver. Hopefully, Santonio Holmes can actually play football this season and not be just this injury-prone guy who just complains a lot. Jordan Matthews to help that out, get younger, just somebody catch the ball in New York. 51, the Dolphins, they're going to double up on tackle. They're going to go Antonio Tiny Richardson, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. The name's deceiving. He's huge. Again, Jonathan Martin needs to grow up. And their other tackle, what is his name? I forgot. I know who he is. I just messed up the name. Zach Martin. He can play everywhere. So, with Tiny Richardson, play him at, I think you'd have Zach Martin on the left, Tiny Richardson on the right. Mike? I sound like an idiot right now. I think it's Mike Pouncey. Mike Pouncey in the middle? Is either Marquise or Mike? I can't remember. I think it's Mike. I want to say Mike. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. In the middle, I don't even know who plays guard. Cognito got released. They're horrible. So now, okay, so got the tackles. You got this tackle situation done here with Tiny Richardson. And now you need your guards. So that's next step. Alright, anyway. Why do I have him twice? No, I don't, actually. I thought I had him twice. Cardinals, I'm going to have him selecting Bradley Roby, cornerback out of Ohio State. Not exactly sure why I did that. Guess they need another corner. They do need another corner. But, yeah, Bradley Roby is underrated. I can see him moving up. I can see Bradley Roby, like, jumping a lot of picks here. But, he's a good corner. He needs more time to develop, but he's a good corner. I think they do actually need more help in the secondary. They got Patrick Peterson, but they also need another one opposite him. Antoine Casons, and he's average. He's not like elite. He's not bad, but yeah, Bradley Roby here makes a lot of sense for me. And then the Packers, they take Austin Seferian-Jenkins, tight end out of Washington. This is your conventional tight end. This is your blocker. Can catch. They have so many weapons in Green Bay that I think this is a good pick because he's a run blocker. He can block and he's a dump off tight end. He can catch the ball obviously, but he's not Jimmy Graham, Tony Gonzalez, Robert Gronkowski. Ooh, even Greg Olsen. I haven't thrown his name around yet, but he's not that kind of guy. He's a conventional tight end. He's gonna help him out a lot. I think yes, I do think Jermichael Finley's career is over. But Andrew Quarles is not bad at all. Andrew Quarles can catch the football. I think Andrew Quarles is good enough where they don't need to take a elite guy there, but they could take Austin Seferian-Jenkins and see what they get out of him. And I know they're going to go run blocking out of him, and that's definitely going to help them a lot. Alright, and I'm going to do up to 55 because I have it written down, and even though it might be wrong, it's a 55th pick. It's not a big deal. But 54 of the Eagles taking Deion Buchanan, safety out of Washington State. Old school player. Maybe not as fit in. He's not as good in coverage as any of these safeties in this draft, but he can play coverage a little bit. But he's a huge hitter up the middle. Great run stopper. I like him. I think he's going to be good here because the Eagles need help at safety a lot. I think they would like to get a cover safety, but I think they won't complain with Deion Buchanan at 54 out of Washington State. And my last pick that I've done so far is Travis Swanson, center, guards. He's a center out of Arkansas. I like offensive linemen. I think they need to have a center in this somewhere, and I think I'm forgetting the name of the center of Kansas City, but I know he's not bad at all. But Travis Swanson, yeah, that's my mock draft. I hope you like to leave a comment down below, or just like it or anything. I know it's long. I talk a lot. I did 55 picks. Go Panthers.